I didn't get my teeth in 24 hours, and here is exactly why I would not recommend it. I actually went through this myself. I am not a spokesperson. I am the real deal that obtained the real results. Now, I know you must be wondering, how much did I pay for my teeth? We'll get to that later, but in the meantime, I'm leaving a cost guide for you below. And make sure that you stick around for reason number 1. Because it is the most important. Reason number 7. I didn't get my permanent teeth in 24 hours. In fact, I had multiple appointments where I had to drag the process out. The teeth that I got on a temporary basis were not as comfortable as the final set, and I had to wait a long time to get them. While I love the office and I love the people, it seemed like I was always there. I was trying to get to the end goal of getting the teeth that I wanted so badly, but it took a long time to get there, and it did take a lot of time. I am shocked, honestly, that today, as I look at other places where people are getting teeth, that it is actually taking 1 full year to get permanent teeth, because I know that that is not the case always. Reason number 6. I can't imagine that there are still some places that are taking up to 1 full year to get permanent teeth, because I can't imagine going through that process again. So that brings me to my very next point, which is a lot of wasted time and effort. I spend so much time driving back and forth to appointments, and even though I am retired, I still have a life. I still have other appointments, I still have activities I'm involved in, and it just seemed like such a long process to get to the end goal. I really don't think I would want to go through that process again if I didn't have to. Reason number 5, I had to be on a liquid diet for months, and I wouldn't wish that on my own worst enemy. Listen, if you can get permanent teeth in 24 hours, you're only going to have to deal with a liquid diet for a couple of days. Because my teeth took almost a year to get, I had to do multiple resets, which set me multiple times back on this liquid diet. Listen, I learned how to eat cottage cheese with everything on it. And soup. It just was so monotonous. And honestly, it's traumatic enough. You don't need to have the added emotional stress of, I don't even want to feed myself. It's not great. Look, I am not a natural-born cold call salesman. I cannot talk up something that I don't believe in. Nuvia is real. Permanent teeth in 24 hours. That is one of the most exciting things that I could give to you. Reason number 4, temporary teeth. What can I say? They are cumbersome at best. They didn't fit right. They were not aligned right. They didn't look right. They didn't feel right. Even if I could have eaten, they wouldn't have been the same thing because they just were not natural feeling. They didn't fit correctly, and I had to deal with them for a long time. The reality is, if you have to go somewhere and you have to endure getting temporary teeth repeated number of times, you don't want to go through that. It sets you back every single time. Reason number 3, the wax try-in phase. I remember it distinctly. Even though it wasn't hours, it was the most uncomfortable experience. It literally gagged me. I didn't know if that was something I was going to get through. Honestly, I was very sensitive to it. It was very uncomfortable, very confining, and I would not wish that on any of you. They would take a mold, fill it full of this goo, put it in your mouth. It would immediately flood the whole roof of your mouth. And honestly, you couldn't breathe. You couldn't swallow. You just didn't know what to do with it. It was just there, and it had to stay there until that mold was set up. And when you finally got to take it out, you didn't know if you were going to throw up with it or skip by with just letting them get it out of your mouth. Now, the good news is because Nuvia can give you permanent teeth in 24 hours, they can do all of that with a digital scan. And you don't have to deal with all of that repulsive, waxy, confining feeling that you get with that mold. Reason number 2. I even dealt with a break in my arch before I got my permanent teeth. It seemed to me like it was just one problem after another. I was states away when the break happened in my lower arch. I was devastated. I didn't know what I was going to do. It was a long ways to get back to get help. I was afraid. I was rethinking the entire process. It was probably the lowest point for me in the process. With temporary teeth, it is not a matter of if they're going to break, but more when they're going to break. But not with these. These are built to last. And finally, the most important reason, number 1. I looked online and it was extremely difficult to find clear cost information. But Nuvia has made it really easy now. They have a cost guide. It could potentially help you save thousands of dollars. When I got my teeth 4 years ago, I wish the cost guide would have existed. I'm going to leave that in the link below for you, and I really think you should go take a look at it. Here's the good news. Now, everyone is getting permanent teeth in 24 hours. 4 years ago, I wish I would have had that option. Even though my journey took a lot longer, I do not regret one moment. Nuvia's team made me feel just like family. I went to the very first Nuvia location, and I am so proud that I was their second patient. Since then, Nuvia has done amazing work. With over 15,000 Google reviews, they clearly know what they're doing. Look, if you're struggling and you need dental implants, I highly recommend that you get this done, but only if you can do it in 24 hours.